Hey guys, it's Steve with Montana Musings Outdoor Channel, and thanks for tuning in. It's time for the 6.8 Western Full Auto Podcast. So, as most of you who have been following me know, I did get the Seekins PH2 finally, and I've had it out to the range and shot some copper impacts and the silver series from Browning, and those are not known for great accuracy, or most people anyway. But they're just so inconsistent with the powder charges. I did pull some bullets on the silver series that I had left out of a box before, and there was about, I think it was 3 grains difference between top and bottom on them, and that was just out of 6 bullets. So anyway, and it kind of showed in this when on the copper impacts I had. They're supposed to be going like 28.75, I think. Let me look. Yeah, 28.75, and I had one that was 29.16, and I forgot to look at the second shot because I'm back to using my Caldwell chronograph now, and the last shot was 2,800, so that's 116 feet per second difference in those 3 shots. But the the first shot was high. And if you've seen the video, you know it was high by a bit. So it was about a 2-inch group. But the last 2 shots, which I'm assuming were closer in feet per second range, there were practically touching. They were like quarter to 3/8 of an inch apart. So from center to center. So that's not too bad. I'm hopeful on that. It's just that if they were consistent in their powder charges, and you know, you wouldn't have that huge spread. Yeah. So anyway, and then the kind of the same thing with the silver series. I had one that was 29.76, and then of course I've got to look at the second one again, and the third one was 29.35. So not as bad, and it grouped about 1.25 inches. So point of impact shift was a little bit different. The copper impact shot to the left by about 1 inch, if that, not even 1 inch, and the silver series were high and right by about 1 inch. So yeah, just a difference in the bullet type, I guess, and you know, powder charges or whatever. But it ended up changing the impact on it. So that was so it was good to get some lead down the pipe, and still working on getting this thing broke in. I got a few more, probably run a few more down. I did clean it after the range time again, and so I had 8 shots through it, and so I brought it back and cleaned it, and it's ready to go again on the next one. It wasn't even really that dirty, but I do have some hand loads that I've worked up here I have some leftovers from when I was doing it for my Browning X-Bolt. Some of the 130 trophy bonded, and I've got a couple of the LRXs that I had loaded up, and they were a little slow. I don't remember what the charge was. It's not written on there, but I loaded some up and those were okay. These were loaded with H414, and the LRXs were loaded with 4831 SC. So I've got some loaded up now that I really want to test, because this is what I want to try in this 24-inch barrel, is the 66.8 grain Mag Pros with the 155 grain LRX. So anxious to see how they go. Hopefully they got a lot of velocity, because that's one I'd like to try for sure. And then I still haven't had a chance to test out these 145 grain ELDXs with 60.3 grains of H4831 SC. So I do have, and then these are some hand loads that I did that were kind of slow. They were like 2,600 feet per second with the ABLRs that I was trying in in the 20-inch barrel. So those should be closer to 27 something. But that's still slower than factory even. So the factories were zipping right along about 28.65 out of that 20-inch barrel. So, yep. And then I do have some of these 165 ABLRs, some left over that are factory. I got 4 of those left. And I did load up some of the ABLRs with the 65.3 grains of Mag Pro. And I did use large rifle primers, just because, this is a new barrel, and I thought, well, I'm sure that's basically max load. So I thought if I'm going to give it a little bit of a, take a little bit off, I thought I'd just do it with the primers and see if that makes a difference. I don't know if it will or not, but if they don't, I was thinking maybe I'd even load up like 5 more with the Magnum primers and just do a comparison to see if there's a change in velocity. So I would imagine there could be, but maybe not much. I did have one person say that the Winchester large rifle primers and the Magnum primers aren't really that much different. So, and if that's all you got is large rifle, I guess that's what you use. But I do have a bunch of the Magnum primers. So anyway, that's what's up with the 6.8 Western. We do have bear season coming up, and that's on the 15th of April. And I do have my tags bought and everything, and I do have some I'm waiting to see if I got drawn. There's an elk B tag that's kind of it's a permit I'm putting in for, and a sheep permit, and what else did I do? Oh, and a trophy mule deer district that I put in for as well. So, and what we hunted up there, we hunted elk up there last year, and there was nice muleys all over the place. So that's good to see. So hopefully you can get one of those, and give it a shot this fall. So, but this spring I'm going on my first bear hunt. That's just a designated bear hunt in the spring. I do have gators. I've got, things. Hopefully I'll have to buy some DEET, some bug spray, things like that. And there was another thing. I was watching Remy Warren, and he was on the Vortex Nation podcast, and he was talking about another spray-on type of a chemical called promethium or something. You might correct me on that if you know what it is, but I don't know if that stuff's too good for you or not, but neither are ticks, so got to pick your poison, I guess. But anyway, that's one of the things we got to deal with. And the other thing I was thinking about is I saw this advertisement, and you've probably seen it too because they're all over, the advertisements all over YouTube. And that is for this on Sportsman's Guide, the Halo Optics K2000 rangefinder binoculars. And so I decided to get some and try them out, and tried them out at the range when I was shooting out there, getting this thing broke in, and the range is good. It goes out to 2,000 and down to 6 yards, so it's got a pretty wide range, and it ranged my 100-yard spot there at 100.9, so it's got to be pretty close. So and they're pretty simple. They have a mode button, so you turn them on. They have a mode button, and you can check to see if you're in yards or meters, and so you click to whatever one you want, and of course I'm yards, but so then you just click on the power button again, and your crosshairs will come up, and the digital readout blanks will be there. So when you hit it again, when you're on target, it's just like the other ones. The yardage pops up, and it has black lettering, which if you're looking at a dark background, might be a little more difficult to see. But it does have it works pretty good though. I didn't really notice it too bad, but I could see where there might be instances where it might be tough. But And it also scans, so you can scan and the yardages will change as you're scanning. So that's kind of nice. So you can be moving around and getting updated ranges as you're going. So I like that too. So they're real kind of grippy, rubbery. They feel pretty good. The glass is pretty decent. Multi-coated lenses, and uh, on these the battery goes in right here. So you can't really use an adapter, like if you're going to do it off a tripod or something like that, because you can't screw it in there. So you're kind of stuck. Probably if you had, like if you're shooting PRS and you've got a plate for your tripod or whatever, and you might want to, if you pack that in a small bag or something like that, you could just set your glass on that and still use it off your tripod. So it's still doable, and it does have kind of a flat feet here for it to set on. So, but I don't know when you get it adjusted for your eyes if that's going to really work or not. But it's they seem to be pretty well made. I don't really have any issues other than the fact so far they're working, and other than the black lettering that, like I say, might be hard to see with a dark background. Um, that'd be my only thing, because my Leupold, I have an old Bresmer one that I bought from rangefinder from Sportsman's Guide years ago, and it's got the black lettering. And then, of course, the Leupold 1400 that I got, they're illuminated red, which is kind of nice. You can see them. But this will work for me for now. So that's what I got going with that. Because I do like to, when I'm doing these podcasts, you just can't talk total 100% 6.8 because you'd run out of things to say. So you got to talk about other things too. So I'd like to show you something new that I'm playing around with once in a while. And in the case is nothing spectacular, but it's fine. It works. It just has a pullover lid on it. You can see that. And it does have the harness. So, it's wearable. And it's really not for the money. It's pretty amazing, actually. Just having that convenience of being able to just range while you're glassing is, that's why everything's starting to go to that. So, catching up with technology, but, and then, I don't know if I talked about the Walker's earbuds. Those work pretty good over the week, when I was shooting, and, for the money, $44.95, I think, is the new price on them. They worked really good. They fit in the ear fantastic. They don't move around or at all, and they fit good. They were nice anyway. I like them. So, and I got them off Midway. So check that out if you're looking for something that's on sale and won't break the bank, and they work pretty good. So they do have the electronic. They can just turn them on and stick a little tiny battery you got to stick in there, and adjustable volume, and away you go. I had a guy shooting in there, and they silenced her pretty good. I wasn't quite sure. It was a good test. I wasn't quite sure if they shut off that sound quick enough, and they seemed to work pretty good. So that's that. And next up, I have, since I am going bear hunting, and I had some some experience. I've got an Alps outdoors pack. It's a frame pack. It's pretty big, and I think it's a 5,400 cubic inch. And so I packed that in for a couple of years. And it's great for, like, if you're packing in camp or even packing out meat, because you can take the bags off, and it's got a setup where you can just a kit where you can just pack out meat too. So it's got a meat shelf and everything. But this one I thought would be good for bear. We could go in light and just take the necessities, kill kit, stuff like that. For me, I'd probably want to be taking a tripod, and I guess that's probably about it, because I'd probably just glass with my binoculars. and maybe a spotting scope. We'll see. But this has a bag that is pretty deep. It's you can stick your whole arm in there. It's got a bladder bag to hold your water bladder. It's got spot here for your water bottles, 2 of them, and you pull out. So it's got the straps here. You can put your lid down, which is pretty good, and you close them up. And it's got side straps to cinch down too. But you pull this out of this little. It kind of tucks into a hole here, and you pull that out, and you got your gun scabbard. You've probably seen these. And so your gun is carried down here, and it's always centered on your body then, which I think is a great idea. So that way, if like for me, because I'm kind of getting a bit older, and trekking poles comes in pretty handy. That way you can use both your trekking poles to the best of your ability, because you're not worried about that gun hanging off your shoulder or stuff like that. So it just it's going to make hiking up the mountains a lot easier, I would believe. So yeah, and like you say, you could have your main pack back at camp or back at the pickup or whatever, and you get something, come out with some meat in this thing if you needed to, and get your other pack and go back in and get the rest or something like that if you needed to. But that's why I got this Everly stock gun runner, and like I say, it's got the this is adjustable here. The shoulder straps are adjustable. There's a Velcro spot there where you can adjust it on these sections right here, and they're not real super heavy straps because you're not going to pack as much weight. And the back pads are pretty nice with the ventilation down the center, and then the hip straps are pretty well padded. And I think it's going to be just fantastic for traveling light and being able to pack your gun and just get where you need to go with your trekking poles and helping you out as you go. So that's the main thing I got it for. So anyway, that's pretty much all the extra stuff I had for you to look at today, and we'll just keep planning on that hunt. I'll probably have I'll do another podcast in a couple of weeks before we go, because we might have some more some more of it planned out on what we're going to do that I can pass on. And I'm just not going to tell you where we're going, but yeah, that's it's exciting to be able to get out in the spring and go do some hunting again. Those Halo optics are also, I think, I don't know if I mentioned, but they're like, if you remember, they're like $359, $360, and just look for codes where they offer like 30% off if you spend extra. Like right now, they have 35% off on orders over $175 or $35. I mean, so right there, that gets you down to what, $320 or $315 actually. So that's even a little bit better than what I got them for. I got them for like $325. So anyway, if you're still looking for something like that, they're pretty reasonably priced, and they do work, and they're just, I don't think they're too bad. Because like the ATNs, like they're $479, and then you get up into the Vortexes and all the other ones, and they're way expensive. So, but anyway, well, that's what I got for you in this podcast. Hopefully one day it's spring, so everybody's kind of getting busier with farming and whatnot. So it might be hard to get another guest here. I got a guy in mind who is a PRS shooter and a hunter, and does a lot of hand loading. Let's see if he can't come in. But anyway, like I say, he's probably going to be busy, so it might be hard to cook up. But we'll see. We'll see. But that's what I got. And thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you in the next podcast coming up in a couple weeks. So catch you guys later, and there you go. See ya.